Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name's Leora Eileen and I make content on here about books, reading, writing and sometimes other things as well. And today I am here with a book haul for you. It's been a while, so I have quite a lot of books that I've collected over the past few months and I'm very excited to share these with you. Some of them are thrifted books and some of them are new books. There's literally fantasy, there's a classic in there, even a murder mystery or thriller in there. There's literally so many things in there. Quite a lot of them I've already read or I've started reading because, you know, it's been a while since I bought all these books and it's like a collective book haul. So without any further ado, let's just get right into all of the books that I've bought. On the top of my pile, we have Under the Whispering Door by TJ Klune. I have also read TJ Klune's other book and I've really enjoyed that one. So I found this at the thrift store and it was like €3 or something. It was really cheap, so I was like, I'll just get it because it might be something that I enjoy. Like, the synopsis sounds like something I would really enjoy. It does sound oddly similar to The House in the Cerulean Sea, which is TJ Klune's other book. I think it sounds like the same thing, like the same concept for the story, but just in like a different shape. And I'm not sure if anybody else is thinking this. As far as I can tell, it's about a ghost who's about to cross over to the other side, but is then brought to this cozy tea house full of ghosts or something of the sort. Yet even in death, he refuses to abandon his life despite spending all of it working. I'm a bit of a workaholic, so I get that. As Wallace grows closer to Hugo, the owner of the tea house, and shares jokes with his resident ghost, he wonders if he's missed something. So when he's given 1 week to pass to the other side, Wallace sets about creating a lifetime in just 7 days. It sounds beautiful. It sounds like, yet again, a very cozy, warm, uplifting sort of fantasy story. So it is something I definitely want to pick up at some point, and I'm really happy I found it for this price. Like, that's such a bargain. The next book in my haul is a really cute and tiny book. This is My Gothic Heart, which is an anthology all about Gothic stories. From wild passion to the lure of the supernatural, from a fascination with death to a longing for pleasure, here is a powerful mix of prose and poetry that cannot fail to stir the emotions. And this book is so beautiful. Like, I'm obsessed with the way it looks. So, fun story about this book. I bought this for one of my best friends for Christmas, and then I opened my gift that she gave to me, and it also had this book in it, and I was like, that's wild. I was so confused for a second because I was like, wait, how did my gift to you end up in your package to me? And then I realized we bought each other the same book. It has beautiful illustrations in it, and just the entire like design of this book is so cute and so pretty. Put my own Ex Libris design sticker in the beginning of it because I wanted to give it even some extra pizzazz. I think it goes quite well with the rest of the aesthetic. So I'm very excited to read this. It's a really short read. I think it will be inspiring though. Like, usually anthologies always inspire something in me because you get so many snippets of different stories and different things. Next up on the list is The Undetectables by Courtney Smith. I had seen this book on TikTok, I think once or twice, and it was definitely something that intrigued me. So when I was doing a little weekend trip with some of my friends, I saw this at the bookstore and I decided to finally pick it up. This is about a coven of witches and they have started their own detective agency. They do like magical investigations, and then a magical serial killer that uses a whistling magic is attacking their town and killing people left and right. There's fae and vampires and all sorts of mystical creatures in this, and one of the guys that runs the detective agency together with the 3 other people is a ghost, and he died on Halloween wearing cat ears, so he has permanent cat ears, which is very funny to me. Mallory, the forensic science expert, is struggling with pain and fatigue from her recently diagnosed fibromyalgia. Cornelia is suddenly stirring all sorts of feelings in Mallory. Diana is hitting up all her ex-girlfriends for information, and not forgetting ghostly Theodore, deceased, dramatic, and also the agency's first unsolved murder case. So lots of intriguing characters, definitely a read I enjoyed. It was not the best thing I ever read. It felt a little bit, it was just a little bit on the surface level for me some of the time. I really enjoyed Theodore and how snarky he is. And I think it's good and important to read about a character that's dealing with chronic illness, especially in fantasy. I don't think you see that often enough, so yeah. Next up on my list is this gorgeous edition of The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. I think this is so pretty. I'm like obsessed with it. I didn't own a physical copy of The Bell Jar and I really wanted one, and this one is stunning. She's so beautiful. And look at the inside. Oh my god, I'm obsessed. Oh, it's so pretty. I had to have this specific edition of it. It's also such a nice like velvety sort of feeling, so I'm very excited about that. A girl lives in an out-of-the-way town for 19 years, so poor she can't afford a magazine, and then she gets a scholarship to college and ends up steering New York like her own private car. Only I wasn't steering anything, not even myself. Summer in New York. Esther Greenwood knows she's supposed to be having the time of her life, but she's on the edge of a darkness that makes her world increasingly unreal. In this vivid, unforgettable novel, Esther's vision of the world shimmers and shifts. Her day-to-day city life, crazed men friends, hot dinner dances, and a slow slide into breakdown. All the illustrations were made by Beata Bailly, and I think they're so stunning. Like, I'm absolutely obsessed with the colours as well. So this book has just been laying down on my couch on display, but when I get around to reading it, I'm just very excited. Next up on the list is a very exciting novel. This was written by my writing teacher that guides our writing group. She's recently quit, but I'm nonetheless very excited to read this. This is an arc that she sent to me, so yay! Thank you, Yael, I'm so excited. This is her debut, so it's extremely exciting that that's finally coming out, that one of the people who's influenced my writing so much has written a book and it's there, it's out in the world. Well, it's about to be out in the world. I think the set release date is the 28th of May, so stay tuned for that. An exquisitely tense tale of desire, suspicion, and possession. It's 1961 and the rural Dutch province of Overijssel is quiet. Bomb craters have been filled, buildings reconstructed, and the war is well and truly over. Living alone in her late mother's country home, Isabel knows her life is as it should be, led by routine and discipline. But all is upended when her brother Louis delivers his graceless new girlfriend, Eva, to Isabel's doorstep, as a guest there to stay for the season. I know this is a sweltering summer novel and it's also sapphic. I'm very excited to dive in and learn all about this history, and I think the cover is absolutely stunning, so congratulations to Yael, I'm so excited to read it. And next up, another book that I've bought and recently read as well, and oh my god, I gave it 5 stars, absolutely obsessed, I love it so much, is Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. This is about 2 journalists who are rivals, and they are both writing about a magical war between the gods happening in their world. It's enemies to lovers, it's extremely good, it's so romantic, and it was stunningly written. It grasped me, and the audiobook was also really good. I switched up between the audiobook and the physical copy and I had a great time, so I highly recommend this. I also made an entire reading vlog, a reading romantasy, so if you want to see that, check it out. I will link it somewhere up here. Another book I've also finished is The Pumpkin Spice Cafe. I bought this last year, I think on one of those markets where I was with my shop as a vendor. I'm an illustrator and I sell my art in my web shop, and so I do a lot of markets, and then sometimes the markets are in bookstores, which is really difficult for me. Like, it's personally challenging because I just keep buying books. So this got to me because it has Gilmore Girls vibes, and Gilmore Girls is my comfort show. So Jeannie's aunt is traveling abroad and she gifts her the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. Jeannie's like, this is a perfect moment. I want to move to Dream Harbor, which is this sleepy, beautiful town, get away from my dull desk job and start a whole new life. And then when she's there, she meets this grumpy produce farmer called Logan, and of course a little romance ensues. I enjoyed this. It has small town vibes, it's a cute romance, but I thought it was also a bit annoying. I think just Jeannie is like a main character that I didn't really connect with, and she's like obsessed with becoming a new genie and she keeps mentioning it, and it drove me insane. But I did really enjoy like the vibes of the book and I still had a good time, so I think I rated it like something like 3 stars. There's like a lot of good things in this book, but it just was not my personal favorite. But the vibes are vibing. I was really on this cozy mystery kick, so I also bought Bayou Book Thief by Ellen Byron when I was vacationing. And what drew me into this is that this is about a widow who goes back home after her social media star husband has perished doing a silly stunt. And I thought that was, I don't know, that tickled something in me. I thought that was intriguing. Our main character is super into finding vintage treasures, and she gets a job at the local museum, which is perfect for her. But then a donated trunk turns up and it contains the body of a recently fired employee of the museum. And so Ricky sets out to discover who has killed the museum employee and if they were killed and what is going on. That sounded very intriguing to me, and I also think like a little pocketbook like this is so cute. And I've read more and more cozy mysteries recently and I've enjoyed a lot of them, so I think this one also sounds right up my alley and it's so cute. So yeah, very excited. Continuing my cozy mystery kick, I also bought this really big short story collection of cozy crime short stories, and I've already started in this. I've read a couple of stories in here, and I'm currently stuck on one story that I don't like, so maybe I should just skip that story and continue with the rest of them. I think short story collections like these are perfect for when you just want to read one story before going to bed. So that's what I've been doing. If I don't know what to read, or if I'm in between books, I just read one of the stories in this. But then I always get like stuck on a story I don't really like that's quite long, and then I'm like, oh, I don't want to finish, but I don't want to DNF for like that specific story and then move on to another one, and like I'm bad at making decisions for stuff like this. What I really enjoy about these specific editions though is that they always mix classics and then new writers that you may have not heard of, and they're also stunning. I mean, look at that, beautiful. I also have one of these anthologies that is, I think, time travel based, and I've really enjoyed that one as well. Look at that. Beautiful. So I'm really excited to read some more stories in this one. I'll keep you guys updated if I ever read it in a vlog, but it's really been good so far, so I'm having a good time. Then there's two more books that I found at the thrift store. I've really been enjoying book shopping at the thrift store. There's like one thrift store near me, and I suspect somebody with good reading taste has recently been donating books there, because every time I go, I find a recently published books for like really cheap, so it feels like somebody's just donating their specific collection. I'm not complaining at all because I got both of these for like €2 or something. So first up we have In a Donker Bos. I think in English the original title would be In a Dark Forest. I don't know, that's the literal translation. Oh, I found one of my bookmarks in there. I didn't know it was in there, so that's a welcome surprise because these are my favorites. I think out of my collection, these are my favorites. In a Dark Wood. That's a lot better than In a Dark Forest. I got this because I'd recently been reading Lucy Foley again, who's one of my favorite thriller, like mystery novelists, and I'd heard people say that Ruth Ware is comparable, and then only after I bought it I realized that I have read a Ruth Ware book before as well. So I've read The Turn of the Key and I really enjoyed that. I thought it was such a page turner, and the sort of combination of like hauntings and technology was really interesting. And this is about a bachelorette party that has a deadly ending where everything goes wrong, and then one of our main characters wakes up in the hospital and doesn't know what's happened, and she's like, I think, an unreliable narrator as well. So we find out what has been going on, and we discover and have theories about what might potentially be going on alongside with her, and I always love stories like that. So I'm very excited to dive into this one and to see if it's as good as Turn of the Key, and also if it lives up to the Lucy Foley vibes. I've read The Hunting Party and The Guest List by Lucy Foley, and I do own The Paris Apartments, but that hasn't gotten like the most favorable reviews, so I don't know if I want to pick that up, but I do own it, so maybe I should just read it. And then another thing that I found at the thrift store that I'm so excited about is Happy Place by Emily Henry. This is not the Emily Henry book I was anticipating most. As most of you know, I really enjoyed Beach Read and I was obsessed with Book Lovers. I thought it was so good, but this specific novel by Emily Henry has never attracted me. I don't know, there's just something about it that's like, I don't care, but when it was available for such a cheap price, I did want to get it, so there you go. Harriet and Wynne are the perfect couple. I don't think so, to be honest, because there's a whole book about them. They go together like bread and butter, gin and tonic, Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. Every year they take a holiday from their lives to drink far too much wine with their favourite people in the world. Except this year they are lying through their teeth because Harriet and Wynne broke up 6 months ago, and they still have not told anyone. But the cottage is for sale, so this is the last time they'll all be here together. They cannot bear to break their best friends' hearts, so they'll fake it for one more week. But how can you pretend to be in love and get away with it in front of the people who know you best? I think personally, you cannot. I don't know, I think it's something about exes to lovers that is not attractive to me, and I'm not sure if that is what's going to happen in this, but I've gotten it now, so I'll read it, and I really hope I'm going to enjoy it. I mean, again, it looks like the perfect book for summer. Emily Henry is so good at writing summer romance, so I know when I'm gonna pick this up, and I'll probably enjoy it too, because Emily Henry is just a good writer. Her writing style always carries me away to another world, so I'm excited for that. Next up is a book that was a big disappointment to me. I didn't like it. I think I ended up giving it 3 stars because it had a few redeeming qualities, but now looking back on it, I'm leaning more towards a 2-star rating, I think. So in this story, Library of Shadows, we follow Estee and she's going to Radcliffe Prep, which is the most haunted school, and it's a boarding school filled with ghosts and libraries and old hallways, and I always love stuff like that. But this story, I didn't enjoy it. But I do have a feeling that me as a teen would have eaten this up and loved it so much. So I think for this, it's just a YA that reads younger, and so I just didn't enjoy it as much as I could have enjoyed it. Estee embarks on this journey with this mystery of the book from the hidden section of the library, which is like in this spire tower, so it's really cool. And she's having a little bit of a forbidden romance as well. There's a whole ghost club, there's some friends of hers who decide to become ghost hunters, and there's many interesting elements in this, especially the whole old library thing and like the hidden passageways. I always love stuff like that. So I think that were the redeeming qualities. It was also quite witty, but just not my personal taste of humor, I think. I did also listen to parts of the audiobook and I enjoyed that better. I think this novel does work really well as an audiobook. And if you want to read a fun read about hauntings and romance and an old prep school, then I do recommend this one. But I don't know, it was just not my personal favorite. I love how I'm doing a book haul, but because I've gotten these books like a while ago, it's almost a book review video at the same time. I'm sorry. I promise all 3 upcoming books, like the final books of my haul, I have not read any of these. So yeah. So first up we have Femicide by Tessel ten Zwegen. This is a non-fiction feminist novel. Tessel is one of my friends and I'm really excited that she's published her 3rd book. She's my age. She's on her 3rd book. She's an extremely talented writer and I'm very excited to read this. I do have to confess, I also have her first book that she's also sent to me lying on a shelf in my house. I've still not picked it up. I'm really embarrassed, don't look at me. But the week I got this one was also the week I got the advanced copy of the book that my writing teacher wrote. And it was like a week where I just felt like, oh my god, I have friends that publish books and send them to me and my life is wild. So this is written in Dutch, as Tessel and me also are both Dutch, and it's about femicide, or Femicide when you pronounce it in Dutch. It is all about how every 8 days one woman is being killed by her partner or ex-partner, and how we view violence towards women in relationships and how we view this on the political agenda as well, and how the Netherlands is a little bit backwards when it comes to this specific subject within feminism. It's a difficult subject, but I'm pretty sure that Tessel has tackled this really well. She's an amazing author. She does so well surrounding serious subjects and making them available to as many readers as possible and making it understandable, and she writes in a very personal tone as well. I've written like other pieces from her, so I cannot wait to see how this book has turned out, and I will also pick up her first book. Maybe I'll read that one first. I haven't decided yet. This is another book that I've gotten on one of those markets that I went to, and this is The Observatory, the 89th Witch by, what is his name? Dimitri Balkin, who is Belgian, so that was very exciting as well. He was selling this both in English and in Dutch. I got the English copy. I think that was kind of an accident, but I don't mind. This book is stunning. I am so excited to read this. It has gorgeous illustrations. It's literally one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. And a very cool thing about this book that made me extra excited is that it has QR codes that go to specific playlists for the book. That is so immersive. That is like my favorite thing that I've seen in a novel in recent years. I really want to get more books that have like immersive fantasy or like ASMR playlists with each chapter. That could be so, like, that's such a good idea. I do think these are like lo-fi playlists. I'm not sure because I haven't read it or listened to them, but I'm very excited about it nonetheless, and just, oh, it's so pretty. Let me read back to you guys. 88 witches. There will always be that many at the observatory. But when there suddenly turns out to be one witch too many at the initiation, the search begins for the 89th witch. When Seren and her new friends arrive on the island of the observatory, they don't know what to expect. Why are they here? Where is the lost member of the Zodiac? And who among the witches is the intruder who will bring down the organization? Along the way, they discover the answers to all these questions, even if the truth is sometimes worse than a comforting lie. Sounds very exciting. It's such a beautiful copy and I'm really, really happy I got my hands on it, and I cannot wait to dive in. Then the final book of my book haul is yet again a beautifully illustrated edition, so we're definitely on a roll here. So last year I read my first Bron book and I immediately knew I had to read more of his work. He's this amazing gothic fantasy novelist and illustrator as well, and he makes these beautiful paintings in all of his books. And horror fantasy fantasy is definitely a genre that I want to read more in, so I'm very excited about getting this book. And his stories are always so original and so engrossing, so this is definitely one I want to pick up very soon. So this is Krampus The U Lord, and I cannot wait to read this scary fever dream because that is what his last book that I read was. And this is about Santa Claus, so I do feel like I should read it around Christmas time. But I don't know. It's also spooky enough to be read around Halloween for sure. The author and artist of The Child Thief returns with a modern, fabulous tale of Krampus, the Lord of Yule and the dark enemy of Santa Claus. Oh, so he's like the enemy of Santa Claus. One Christmas Eve in a small hollow in Boone County, West Virginia, struggling songwriter Jesse Walker witnesses a strange spectacle. 7 devilish figures chasing a man in a red suit toward a sleigh and 8 reindeer. When the reindeer leap skyward, taking the sleigh, devil men, and Santa into the clouds, screams follow. Moments later, a large sack plummets back to Earth, a magical sack that thrusts the down-on-his-luck singer into the clutches of the terrifying Yule Lord. But the lines between good and evil become blurred as Jesse's new master reveals many dark secrets about the cherry-cheeked Santa Claus. So that sounds like an interesting, twisty story that still has some magical winter spirit inwoven to it. So I'm very excited to pick this up, and thank you to one of my besties who gave me this for Christmas. So that was my book haul for today. I'm really excited I got to share all of these reads with you and tell you about all the new books that I've acquired. There's like a whole mess of books on my bed right now. Definitely let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of these that I have not read yet and what your thoughts were. I'd love to hear your opinions. And if you don't know what to comment, leave me a nice magical emoji because I've been reading so much fantasy specifically lately, and I always read a lot of fantasy, but I feel like I'm definitely reading like more than usual even. I don't know how to explain that. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely day. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in the comments and also in my next video. Bye!